In this video, I'm bringing you the Impale Demon Hunter for speed farming greater rifts. This build is absolutely insane and can do DR 120s in about 2 minutes. So if you're playing a Demon Hunter, you're considering making a Demon Hunter, I would highly advise making this build right now. And it's probably one of the best builds for speed farming greater rifts for sure. In this video, I'm going to show you how everything works and why it is so strong. So what you see on the screen here is me doing 120s and I can do them in about 2 minutes average. But if you can just get the base set of this gear, it's also really strong and the scaling is just absolutely insane. So playstyle wise, it is pretty simple. Use your shadow power once to proc it and then the force set will keep it active during the entire rift. Use your preparation and fairly nice on cooldown to get the discipline and toughness from this. And then you just want to vault around, and in between vaults you of course want to keep firing your impale. Every 5 seconds use a bolus to proc your focus strength and your reps of clarity. And it's just about using your impale to destroy everything in your path. And as you can see, it is able to go really quickly and just clear everything really easily too. Now, important note is that you need to find a good level GR for you, because the way Carl's point work is that you get 15 hatred back when you hit an enemy that is already impaled, which means that if you're one-shot the enemies, you won't get this effect. Which means this build wouldn't work on, say, for instance, a GR 90 for me, because I would one-shot everything, and therefore wouldn't have any hatred to actually cast my impale again. So for me right now, about 120s to 122s works really well, but of course it also depends on the gear. But yeah, it's very important to find a good level where you can kill things quickly, but you also don't want to one-shot everything because you want to make sure you have enough hatred from your Carlos point. But besides that, it's very simple and easy build to play. So where does the damage come from this build? Well, if we look at the 6-piece of the Impale, of course from the Impale set itself, we are getting a 6000% increased multiplier from the 2-piece when we have a melee weapon equipped. We're also getting shadow power with every rune and it lasts forever. Of course, it means it lasts throughout the entire rift and you then have to reapply it in the next GR. So just press it once and it's good to go. And then the 6-piece was actually reworked here for season 25. So Impale deals an additional 75,000 increased damage to the first enemy hit. And then also this part here was added now. 25,000% to subsequent enemies. And this rework here is really strong and makes this build really good as well. One of the reasons why this build is also strong now is because of the soul shards, of course. For the weapon, we're using an Essence of Anguish, and on this one you want to, when you kill an enemy, you have this blow up effect within 25 yards. Basically, we're able to play with the fire rune of Impale, which is by far the highest damage rune. And then this Essence of Anguish is the reason why we have this massive AoE now. So if we, for instance, lose this next season, this build is not going to be that strong. So I highly recommend playing it now while you just have this Essence of Anguish here. And of course, also gives a good amount of cooldown reduction and movement speed. And if you can, of course, get some fire damage here because we are playing a fire build. And for the helmet soul shard, we're using the Sliver of Terror. And here we're getting the attack speed and crit chance per spell on cooldown. And you want dexterity here as well as your main stat. Now for the gear. So for the weapon, we are of course using the Carlos point here. And for this speed build here, we have poison damage on the weapon, we have 10% damage, and we have cooldown reduction. Now one important note is that for this build here, you actually don't need to have poison damage on your weapon itself. If your follower has a weapon with poison damage, let's say this Indium here, this would actually still proc your Essence of Anguish, giving you the full effect of both the cooldown reduction, the movement speed, and the blow up effect. The reason why I have poison damage on my Carlos point is because I can also use for a push build where I do want that. But if you're just making this for a speed build, you do not need poison damage on your weapon itself. For the rings, using focus and restraint, and here you would ideally want damage roll and crit, or something like attack speed crit. But if you of course can't get that, dexterity crit works just fine, but the best stat is a flat damage range. For the gloves, something like attack speed crit works really nice. For the shoulders, dexterity, vitality, cooldown reduction, arrow damage. Resource cost is also okay if you can't find cooldown reduction, but you ideally want cooldown reduction. For the helmet, you want dexterity, crit chance, and impale damage. For the chest piece, get dexterity, vitality, percent life, or all resistance. For the belt, using Captain Crimson set, and here you want dexterity, vitality, all resistance, and percent life. And also for the pants, dexterity, vitality, and all resistance. For the boots, you want dexterity, vitality, all resistance, and impale damage. For the necklace, using Squirt's amulet here, and here you want fire damage and crit. For the braces, reps of clarity. Make sure you get the high secondary first, that's the main priority. I would say 48 or above. And you want fire damage, crit chance, and dexterity. And for the quiver, holy point shot, fire damage, crit chance, attack speed, impale damage if you can get it. This might be a really difficult item for you to get with really good stats. I have a decent one here. It's still missing impale damage, but again, it's a very difficult item to get with really good stats. And of course, make sure you get a high secondary as well. You can roll from 75 to 100, so make sure it is at least 90. The linear gems, using Bane of the Trap for massive damage increase. Say Stone of Vengeance for also a massive damage increase, and then Molten Willoughby Skizzard for a really big shield that then helps us with keeping squirts up. For the cube, using Echoing Fury for the attack speed and movement speed, which is really nice for Impale. Then Arsive's Gauge for even bigger shield for squirts up time. And then Ring of Royal Grandeur, allowing us to have 2 pieces of Captain Crimson's, 5 pieces of Impale, and then get the full effect of both sets. Using Boulder's Freezing Strike to proc our Raps of Clarity and our Focus Strength, so use this every 5 seconds. Impale with Chemical Burn, the highest damage multiplier of the runes. Shadow Power, and it does not matter which rune you pick because you get them all anyway from the 6-piece. Using Preparation Focus Mind to get more discipline to vault more, and then using Vault so we can get around the map and hunt for everything we want to kill. And then Fast Knives, Blade Armor for a good toughness increase as well. For the passives, Tactical Advantage for even more movement speed after vaulting. I'm playing a ranch because I'm playing hardcore, but could easily swap this out to something else. Something like Cult the Weak would be a good substitute. Blood Advantage to get back hatred and discipline when you pick up health globes. This also works for progression globes, by the way. And the last one, Ambush, for a big damage increase. Make sure to watch one of the 2 videos on the screen now for even more amazing Diablo guides, and I'll see you there. Peace out.